I'm not sure how many of you will know this, but outside this channel, I'm a novelist. Granted, I haven't received a monumental amount of success so far, namely because the series I'm writing has been in progress since I was a sophomore in high school, but I still call myself a novelist. So when I discovered that last season's A Sister's All You Need was not as I would have thought, about a deranged teenager who's actually considering his sister as a viable romantic choice, but about the pains and struggles of adult writers, it captured my attention. It's not all that common in the world of moe blobs and kawaii to find a slice of life anime that doesn't center around a group of middle or high schoolers. This is why Golden Time shot up to the 3rd spot on my list of favorite anime of all time. It's also part of why A Sister's All You Need kept me so enthralled as the story progressed. Being a 25-year-old adult male, it's good to see people like me on the screen. People who are dealing with real problems such as writer's block, the procrastination that comes when you have deadlines but you'd rather do anything else in the world, and the heartbreak that occurs when you know the object of your affections doesn't feel the same way about you, and you're left with no other option than to give up and wish them the best. Like I said, real problems. Produced by Silverlink, the studio behind such titles as Nan Nan Biyori, Tanaka-kun is Always Listless, and this season's Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody, A Sister's All You Need follows a primary cast of 4 adults who've made the jump into the real world, but who are still adjusting to the harsh reality that comes with it. Itsuki Hashima is our main protagonist, who writes novels involving little sisters or characters with little sisters, and is highly regarded as a pervert by his friends and acquaintances. Nayuta Kani is a writing prodigy who suffered from depression and bullying, but was able to see the light upon reading Itsuki's work. Miyako Shirakawa is a student in college and the only member of the group who's not a novelist, but finds the world fascinating and decides to stick around. Haruto Fuwa is the most accomplished of the group, as his work has been optioned for an anime series, yet he hasn't let that get to his head and serves as a rival that pushes Itsuki to new heights. As the series proceeds, we're introduced to supporting characters such as Itsuki's little stepbrother Chihiro, Setsuna Eno, an illustrator with a fetish for butts, Ashley Ono, a 32-year-old lolly tax accountant who has sadistic tendencies, Kenjiro Toki, the editor of Itsuki's novels who's been known to imprison Itsuki when he slacks off, and Kaiko Mikuniyama, a brilliant mangaka who has chosen to adapt Itsuki's novel, who also happens to have an underwear fetish that often puts her at odds with Itsuki. I'm sure you're wondering why the characters sound like they're straight out of an ecchi anime. I never claimed it wasn't an ecchi anime. It's definitely ecchi, but I'd suggest it deserves the title of wholesome ecchi, if that makes sense. I think that's as good of a segue as ever into discussing the elephant in the room. I can imagine there are plenty of people who drop this series like a sack of bricks after the first 2 minutes of the first episode, and I find that to be a shame. It's a bait and switch. The series plays on your expectations to deliver a really memorable, even in the worst way, opening scene, and it succeeds with flying colors. I would implore anyone who dropped the show because they were given the wrong impression in the first few minutes to give it another chance. I promise it's not what you think. It's really interesting how A Sister's All You Need manages to capture that intense feeling of writer's block. For example, there's a time Itsuki literally goes on a vacation in the name of research, but ends up goofing off to the point his editor actually imprisons him. Sure, it might be dramatized, but the fact is writers of all shapes and sizes deal with procrastination, even if they're doing their dream job. It doesn't matter how much you enjoy writing, if you do it enough, there will come a time when you want to do anything but. I also liked how the series was able to capture feelings of hopelessness involving Fuwa's anime a little later on in the series, but I'm being vague because it's a moving scene you really need to experience for yourself. In terms of the series' music, it has one of the most infectious main themes, sufficiently titled Imoto Sae Irebai main theme, that plays several times during montages and is almost enough to make me purchase the soundtrack by itself. Its OP and ED are both amazing as well, with Ashita no Kimi Sae Irebai, or It'll Be Good If Only You're Here Tomorrow, as its OP, and Dona Hoshizora Yorimo, Dona Omoida Yorimo, or More Than Any Starry Sky, More Than Any Memory, serving as the ED. I love the OP's visuals, as the entire thing is presented as if Itsuki is literally coming off the paper to inspire his friends with his work, and as a result, they're all there to support him in turn. I make an effort to show off the OP to as many people as I can, because it's just so well made. In that same vein, the ED is appropriate, given the theme of disappointment and heartbreak that is present in several episodes of the series, but it doubles as a theme of calmness and tranquility that reminds you, no matter how many times you fall down, you've just gotta keep getting up. I can't lie, A Sister's All You Need was my anime of the year 2017, and for good reason. It's a grounded, honest story of people following their dreams, finding themselves, and falling in love. And it hurts that so many people likely passed on it for the disappointment that was Black Clover. It also hurts that this might be a series that only gets a solitary season when there are 9 novels out in Japan right now to adapt. Speaking of novels, if it's any consolation, we're getting the first one in the West in late May, so if worst comes to worst, at least we can follow Itsuki's story in the written format, but it's just not the same, damn it! If you'd like to jump in on the wholesome ecchi, the series can be streamed legally via Crunchyroll. A Sister's All You Need earns a resounding 10 out of 10 for its honest storytelling, its clever use of the bait and switch, and characters I'd love to have a beer and play board games with. Come on, Silverlink, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do! Thanks for watching Anime Ambush. Now it's your turn. What did you think about A Sister's All You Need? Were you one of those people who dropped it after the opening scene, or did you stick with it? Let me know in the comments, and if you'd like to support this channel without spending a dime, please consider subscribing, as well as sharing and liking this video. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, where I post way too often, you can do so at pixelation_. Until next time, this has been Pixelation, reminding you to stay pixelated.